If you've ever put electricity in your Rust base because you want turrets or lights or whatever you want, odds are you've probably wired up something like this: solar panel or a windmill into a battery into whatever you want to power. You think you have a battery backup like that. You don't. That's not a battery backup, that's an inline battery system, which is worse than you think it is. It's actually really bad. Inline battery systems are bad for a couple of reasons. The first is that your batteries are always under load. They're always discharging. And with these inline systems, you are losing 20% of your generation off the top. It just disappears into thin air. The way that the batteries in this game work is they charge at 80% efficiency. So if you put 100 power into a battery, it's only getting 80 of that power. So with a large battery, the maximum output on that is 100 power. So you need to have 125 power going into that at all times. You won't even be charging the battery like that. You'll just be preventing it from discharging. You need to have more than 125 if you want those batteries to actually fill up. Also, with these inline systems, if your battery gets rated, you're done. You can still have windmills and solar panels up, you can still have generation, but it's not going anywhere. It's not powering anything because your battery's gone. Don't worry though, because I'm going to teach you a circuit that's going to centralize your power. All of your turrets, your lights, all your components are going to be powered by the generation, so you're not going to be paying that 20% tax, and then all of your excess generation is going to charge the batteries, and your batteries are only going to be used when your generation is destroyed or when your generation doesn't create enough for all the components in your base to use. All right, this is the battery bypass circuit. The circuit was designed with 3 purposes. Number 1, to ensure that your circuits remain energized unless all of your batteries are destroyed or drained and all of your generation is destroyed. Number 2, to bypass the use of battery power unless the amount of power generation falls below the amount of power demand that your base has. Number 3, to divert all generation to the batteries if the amount of generation falls below the demand of your base. So the first thing you're going to need is generation. In this example, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 windmills. After that, you're going to need root combiners. A trick for knowing how many root combiners you'll need is just take the amount of generation points you have, subtract 1. So I have 4 wind turbines. I'll need 3 root combiners. Wire the output of 2 of your generation sources into the inputs of your first root combiner. Wire the power out into 1 of the inputs of your next root combiner. The other input of that root combiner will be another power generation point. Rinse and repeat that until all of your generation is tied in to a single output. On your final root combiner that has all of your output, wire this into an electrical branch. Disregard this switch, it's just here for demonstration purposes later in the video. Now this branch, your first branch, what you set this branch to is entirely dependent on the power demand of your base. So go through everything in your base, find out what your total power demand is, and set this branch to that number. In this example, I only have 6 turrets. Each turret takes 10 power, so I need 60 power. So this branch is set to 60. Then place down a memory cell, another branch, 2 OR switches, and a splitter. Wire the branch out of your electrical branch into the input of your memory cell. Wire the power out from this electrical branch into the input of your next electrical branch. Set this branch to 1. Wire the branch out into 1 input of your first OR switch. Wire the power out into 1 input of your second OR switch. At your memory cell, wire the inverted output into the second input on your second OR switch. Then wire this second OR switch into your splitter. Wire the outputs of your splitter into the inputs of your batteries. Then wire all of the outputs from your batteries into another array of root combiners. Then you're going to want to place an OR switch, 3 branches, and 1 blocker. Wire the output of your battery's root combiners into the input of your first branch. Disregard this switch, it's only here for demonstration purposes. Set this branch to the same amount as your first branch over here, so your total power draw for everything in your base. In my case, it's 60, it'll be different for you. Then wire the branch out from your first branch over here into 1 input of your OR switch. Then back here at the memory cell, wire your output into the other input on this OR switch. Then back at this branch, wire the power out into the input of your second branch. Set this branch to 2. Wire the power out on your second branch into the input of the block pass-through function on your blocker. Then wire your branch out from your second branch into the input of your third branch. Set this branch to 1. Wire the power out from this branch into the input of your blocker. Wire the output of this blocker into the input of your first OR switch on the left. Then wire the output of that OR switch into the set function on your memory cell. Then at your third branch on the right side, wire the branch out into the reset function on your memory cell. The OR switch that's in the middle of both of these sides, this is your centralized power. So essentially the power out on this OR switch will always be the demand of your base. So in this case it's 60, this will always be 60. So wire the output of this OR switch into whatever the fuck you have that needs power. So to demonstrate how this works, I have two switches. This switch over here simulates all of your generation being destroyed. It cuts all the power from your generation downstream. This switch simulates all of your batteries being destroyed. When it's turned off, all of the power from your battery side is cut. So right now the batteries are charging and there is zero active usage on the batteries. But when I flip this switch, simulating all of my generation being destroyed, the active usage on the battery jumps up to 60 and the battery starts draining. Now we'll turn this back on and we'll cut the battery power. So now there's no power coming in from the battery side, but we have generation still. Now I'm going to demonstrate how this circuit diverts all of the power being generated to the batteries if the generation doesn't meet the threshold that your base needs. So this branch is set to 60 because I have a total power need of 60. And the input on this is 128. But let's say I had this hooked up to a base that needed 150 power. So I'll change the branch amount to 150. Now that I've changed the branch amount to 150, all of this 117 power that's coming in from the generation is all going out on the branch, which means no power is coming out from the power out of this branch, which feeds this branch, which then subsequently feeds this OR switch, which powers the set function on your memory cell. It diverts the output from the output function on the memory cell into the inverted output function on the memory cell, which then powers through this OR switch, through this splitter, and all into the batteries. All right, the runtime of this video is only 7 minutes, which means I've got to find a way to pack 3 minutes of shit into the end of this so that I can put a bunch of mid-roll ads on it, make some money. How do I do that? All right, I'm gonna start plugging shit. I got a Twitch, go check that out. I have a Patreon, haven't done shit on that in over a year, but you can give me your money on it. Speaking of money, there's a channel membership thing on YouTube. You can give me money. I can give you literally nothing. It's awesome, isn't it? God, I love America. Fuck, how long is this? Shit, what else can I plug? Oh, Jippy, the guy that makes my music. That guy's fucking awesome. Love that guy's music. His shit's in the description. Go buy a t-shirt or something from him. Oh fuck, we're only like a minute on the filler. How do I keep the audience engaged? All right, editor, throw up fucking throw up some Subway Surfers, guys. Let's talk about what's going on in the Middle East. Those Israelis, huh? And that Gaza Strip. That's really something, isn't it? I know how to keep you fucking guys watching for like the next minute and a half. I'm gonna play a Megadeth song on on Guitar Hero, and I can't play the actual song, so I'm gonna do the voice, or I'm gonna do the song with my voice. God, I gotta get a breath in here. Oh wait, he's doing lyrics now. I gotta do a Dave Mustaine lyric. Watch him become a god. Oh no, the solo. I gotta lock in. I can't do the voices anymore. Oh shit, and I'm fucking it up. Watch him become a god. Fuck. All right, I got bored of that. I'm going back to polarizing political takes. What do we got here? 300 student visas revoked. That's good, or maybe that's bad, depending on what makes that funny to you. Judges to bar the U.S. from using Alien Enemies Act to deport some Venezuelans. That's good, or maybe that's bad, depending on what makes that funny to you. All right, I don't know if all of that fucking shit got us up to 10 minutes, but if it didn't, the rest of this video is just gonna be a black screen because I don't feel like floundering over here trying to fill this shit.